Alright everyone, when you look at me, you can probably tell that I'm not exactly a Christian nationalist. I'm a pirate actually, a goonie. Now I'm actually a pagan occultist, and I wanted to weigh in because the legacy media is trying to cast Donald Trump off as like a Christian nationalist, and trying to promote Christian nationalism. I would say that this is fundamentally false, and even if it were true, honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't have a problem with it. I don't feel threatened by it in any way. Christians have repeatedly tried to convert me to their religion. Various denominations, by the way. Episcopalians, Catholics, Unitarians, and so forth. That being said, it doesn't offend me. I don't understand the goddamn problem. Go ahead. I mean, I'm not going to convert to your religion, but it doesn't offend me. It doesn't make me feel threatened. I feel threatened by certain groups of people in this world. I feel threatened by authoritarians at the government level, and Trump doesn't appear to really be one, generally speaking. He's not perfect, but he's certainly he's not going to put me in an internment camp, for example. There are certain Christian groups that are, more fundamentalist than others. Most of them, though, have liberalized at this point. This is, by the way, in keeping with the founding of the country. The founding fathers were universally Christians. All of them believed in the Christian God. But they did not believe in religiosity, in the high church sense. I've spoken of this before. I have a copy of the Book of Common Prayer that my grandfather had. He was apparently a low churcher. While he had the Bible, it appears that he prayed his conscience more than anything else. How the hell does this threaten me? I don't give a shit. Go ahead and believe in whatever God you want. It means absolutely nothing to me as long as I'm left alone to do my thing. I think there is a fracturation between religiosity on one hand and civics on the other. I don't think that Trump is trying to fuse them. It doesn't appear so. It's like I guess they're talking about the Iowa Fair there for the 250th anniversary of the United States. Oh my God, Trump took over the Kennedy Center. He's going to be making art that we don't agree with. Who cares? I don't care if he has a giant statue of Jesus there. I'm still probably going to attend. It's not going to offend me. Who cares? Nobody's persecuting me. If I go out in the streets and people realize, oh my God, there's that pagan over there, I don't feel threatened by that. There are plenty of things that I feel threatened by. For example, I am a white straight male. That is more of a threat to me than the fact that I'm a non-Christian. Christians do not frighten me. If Christians are actually practicing Christianity, they'd be the least frightening people in this world. In fact, perhaps they should maybe beat their plowshares into swords at some point, at least ideologically, because they're being run roughshod over in multiple continents. I don't feel threatened by Christians. I don't see the problem. Who cares if Trump is a Christian nationalist? But he's not. Here's the thing. It's like with Ronald Reagan back in the day. He was asked once, you don't go to church very often. You say you're a Christian, but you don't really go to church. And this was a very glib response from the old Gipper. He said, well, if I go to church, somebody might attack it, and so I don't go to church because I don't want anyone to get hurt. This was an excuse at the time, by the way, and it was a really, really funny one. Trump effectively has the same excuse. He goes to church sometimes, but he's not really religious. The idea that he's really a Christian nationalist is bullshit. That's not him. He's more on the civic side. Does he believe in Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior? Probably. Does he believe in a God? Probably. Does he want to force that religion upon other people? No, because there's no religion to force upon them. He happens to believe in the Christian incarnation of God, but really nothing beyond that. So, again, why should I have a problem with that? I'm speaking as a pagan. I practice literal dark magic. I don't give a fuck. It means absolutely nothing to me. He's not threatening me. I voted for him. There was a reason for that, partially because his opponent was an absolute psychopath. If anything, he's marginally more religious than maybe a Kamala Harris or something like that, but he's no fundamentalist. I can tell a fundie when I can, interact with them to any great degree. Donald Trump was really, he literally reposted one of my videos on his actual Twitter page at one point. Yeah, he really has a problem with people like me. No, he doesn't. He wants votes, basically. He's more on the corporatistic and civic end, whereas religion is semi-separate from that. Now, again, do I believe that he has spiritual beliefs? Yes. Do I believe that those beliefs bleed over to the point where he's going to try to impress them upon somebody like me? No. It's like when the pink pussy hat wearers wear the handmaiden's outfits and cry and literally in some cases sterilize themselves and whine and complain about how moralistic Donald Trump is. I'm like, he's the least moralistic Republican president in a number of decades at the very least. What are you talking about? Goddamn Joe Biden's probably got more religious tendencies than Donald Trump. Donald Trump worships the dollar more than anything else. He wants to create wealth. He's not exactly the most religious person in the world. But they don't understand this because they've got Trump derangement syndrome. And it's actually astonishing to see how many people are so goddamn retarded that they believe that Donald Trump spends all day talking to the priest or something like that. I don't feel threatened by Christians or by Christianity. Back in the day, when I was a card-carrying atheist, I might have been more offended by, some of his religious statements. These days, I realize they're pretty innocuous. Okay, you believe in God. Why is that my problem? You're saving me a bunch of tax money and stuff like that. You're not trying to force me to worship at your church or anything like that. Well, then that's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. What's the problem with that? Christian nationalism, my ass. Donald Trump is not a Christian nationalist. Not in any way, shape, or form. I can assure you, again, as a non-Christian, I repudiate the Christian religion in the organized sense, although the spirituality and mysticism is perfectly fine. I can assure you that Donald Trump is not going to put you barefoot in the kitchen. He's not going to take your rights away based on whatever ideology you happen to be following. That's just not him. He had 4 years to do that, by the way. It never happened. So what are you talking about? It makes absolutely no sense. He's not a Christian nationalist. That's about all. Peace out.